DC overtake Marvel. Now, before I break this down and what this question, I would want to hear on how do you feel about
Overtake. I just think that this is how I view DC and Marvel. At this point, Marvel's backed by Disney. We all know that. And so Marvel got old money. DC, they've been around, not saying, Batman, Superman, they've been a thing, but they keep changing of the guard per se of who's controlling the universe. And so I feel like they're playing with new money. And, the saying is new money can't compete with old money. But, I feel like, James Gunn taking over DC, the new Superman movie, a lot of people liked it. Marvel's in a state of oversaturation of putting out too much product, kind of mediocre product, and a lot of fan favorites of characters have gone. They've ended their chapter. If Marvel was ever in a state to be overthrown, I think this is the time, because Marvel's doing a lot of desperate grasping of straws, trying to get that old feeling back with consumers. The consumers that rode the wave through all the phases, all the way up into Endgame. They're really trying to recapture a feeling with their fans right now, and they're just not hitting the mark. I think if there's ever been a time in history that DC could be like, you know what, we the top dog in the space again, or ever. I don't know if they ever been a top dog, but I think now
it?
is the time, because I honestly believe Marvel is down and out right now, and I kind of feel like they're not gonna stay down for very long. They've done the desperate move. They've gone away from Kang Dynasty. They've brought back Robert. I live for Robert. Robert can't do no wrong in my eyes.
That's right.
Yeah, and I felt like it was a very desperate move to make him, Doomsday, the main villain and all that. I think some people like it, some people don't. Some people just want to see Robert on screen again, which I'm one of those people. Like, I'm riding with Robert, his whole backstory, his whole reclaim the fame, the Iron Man. Like, I'm of the people who watch Endgame and watch the scene of when he said, "I am Iron Man," he snapped his fingers and the whole little scene. I cried. Because when I say I love Robert in an Iron Man suit, like, it's not a lot of things that I love, but I love watching that man in Iron Man, as the
Right.
character. And it's just a lot of question marks with Marvel. I know that the Fantastic Four just came out. It's not doing so good in Disney's eyes because it's not a $1 billion earning movie. It's just half a billion, I think, the last time I looked at it. To me, and we talked to one of our friends, and he said Four was trash, and I was like, no, it's not trash. I actually like. I've seen some bad Fantastic Four movies. Like, I seen the one with Michael B. Jordan in movie theaters, and I was like, this is a
Oh,
horrific movie.
oh,
But while watching this one, I was like, okay, I can get behind it. I know some people were mad because they didn't bring the dude from The Office as old boy. But I felt like that was kind of an isolated thing they did for the fans, and Doctor Strange too. So I didn't expect him to be cast as the main guy. But endless to say, at the end of the day, I think if DC is ever gonna overthrow Marvel, now's time. Now, I say that while knowing I feel like DC doesn't have just enough source material. Not saying like Superman is Superman, and you got Batman, you got, I know they had a movie slated for Cyborg at one point, and I don't know, I'm not gonna get into that situation with that actor in the studio. They had the Flash movie. I don't know if they just have enough IP that they can push on a regular, like, because Marvel's releasing movies phase one, phase two. They was releasing like 6 7 projects a year, and they started releasing TV shows. So I don't know if DC have enough flips in the chamber to fire off that rapidly, that soon. And I don't think James Gunn is ever gonna push out enough IP to, I guess, overwork him. I feel like he's gonna keep it short and sweet, maybe 2 3 projects a year I can see him doing, max. So I guess this is another question where it's kind of yes and no. Like, I feel like DC fans could like come out and push the the box score higher, but I just feel like Disney, even though they said they're pushing back on how many projects they're going to release a year, I don't think they're going to do the number. I don't think we can expect DC IPs to be billion-dollar box office hits like, Marvel pushed Spider-Man for whatever reason to be a billion-dollar movie. And Endgame was at one point the highest grossing movie ever, and then they re-released Avatar to push it back over. But I don't see DC doing that money-wise, no. Fan satisfaction and, feedback-wise being more positive than Marvel movies right now, yeah, I could see that.
Duly noted and appreciate it. And I like how you said, Marvel has old money, whereas DC is new money. And I wanna break that down a little bit. Because 10 years ago, I would have said no. But the
Yeah.
reason Marvel was so successful is because they have Disney money. Disney money
Mhm.
is old money. Disney money, you can do if Disney, Microsoft, Apple, or Google is backing anything you're doing financially, you can achieve anything. If those four companies put together and say, hey, we want to really make this Iron Man suit truly legit, it can be done. It would be done. I felt DC was rushing to the game. They were late. They were very behind.
Yeah, the Zack
And
Zack Snyder days.
and it showed because the Justice League movie was supposed to be their grand dutas, was supposed to be their magnum opus, and just like how the Avengers were for Marvel. But my whole thing was, how do you do the Justice League movie and you have not done the single character movies that? But
Mhm.
with Marvel in such a disarray right now, with the budgeting, the bleeding of billions of dollars, the numerous Disney Plus people leaving and everything, I would say DC could overtake Marvel right now, but not how you think. Disney money is one of the reasons why Marvel was so successful with these live action films and everything. If DC were to stick to their animated shows and catalog, they could outshine twofold. The Flashpoint Paradox is an animated Disney movie that's based off the comic. Phenomenal. DC has always been very good in the animation, and for whatever reason, Marvel, like, we gotta go live action. House more live action, it has its limitations. Whereas if you stick with animation, the possibilities are endless. And it even allows you to follow the comic book more accurately, as James Gunn is trying to do now, better. That Creature Commando show, animated, I don't know about you, I love very different and original. Everything don't need to be live action. But if DC were to let their ambitions go, trying to chase Marvel, and it could overtake Marvel. Do a 3-part Batman with Damian Wayne taking over as Batman from I almost said Bruce Willis. There are many aspects to DC than just the Batman, the Superman. You can do the Flash. For God's sakes, you can do Aquaman has always been of DC superheroes. And then here comes Jason Momoa, the man who can't keep a shirt on. And I was like, damn, he did Aquaman good. It's all about, right now, Marvel. Well, I ain't gonna say Marvel. From Marvel to Star Wars
Yeah, I was just
to
about to say
everything.
Star Wars. Even original IP, Lion King, all the live action versions of kid movies, yeah, they're just I don't know. Look, just like I don't know what Microsoft is doing with Xbox, I don't know what Disney is doing with anything.
I got nothing for you right now.
Yeah, listen, boss. I feel like money printing became the be all end all, and core of what these IPs were made for, and who they were made for, and what the message was portrayed in these IPs was lost for a money printing purpose. And just like Microsoft is facing the consequences of their decisions of making money a priority over the fans, over what the fans want. And even DC went through that with the Snyder's era, it being rushed, and he was going through his family issues, and they still put out the project and brought in
Uh,
somebody just
terrible,
to
terrible mistake.
slap some makeup on it and push it out for money reasons. All these things and errors from these companies come down to them pushing money over everything else. And I just think that just like Microsoft, Disney is eating a lot of crow, and I just feel like in this economy in 2025 where a dollar is It's so hard to make a dollar. And in that sense, people are going to expect a certain level of for them to spend said dollar on your product. Marvel is just not checking the box for consumers. Like movie tickets like $20, for the nice seats. I mean, I'm sure there's a $5 movie ticket you can find in a certain movie theater.
But
But
gas
now,
money.
$20. Listen, you're gonna have to earn that $20. And
Eh,
for me
gas money.
especially with streaming service, we know it's only a certain amount of time before it hits the streaming service, and you can watch it from the comfort of
That
your
is so
home
true.
for a membership or a subscription that you probably already spent $20 on. You just gonna it's just gonna take a lot for me to get to the movie theaters and spend $20. Okay, so you gotta bring it. You and all this agenda driven stuff that people don't care about, and you just it's you just making it harder for the consumer to spend that $20, and rightfully so. I keep telling everybody I know, we control what is put in front of us. We control it with our funds, and if you don't want to see something, and the studio keeps saying, "Oh, you gonna take this," but you're not gonna get my $20 for that, so keep it pushing, pimp. The studio gonna finally get they get right together. Like people were pissed that Iron Man died and Robert was no longer a part of Marvel, and in a desperate move, they gave that man a blank check to come back as Doomsday. Rightfully slow. I'm not gonna ever talk down about him taking a blank check from Marvel.
What?
But it's just it's just getting harder and harder for the consumers to have a reason to spend their money, and they getting a little more. They're becoming more selective. They're making people work for the money more than ever. No telling when the landscape is gonna change in the going future. But I just think it's just put up or shut up. You either gonna put out a good product, or you gonna put out a product that people care about, or you're not, and it's not gonna sell. You can't expect every movie you put out, Marvel, to be $1 billion grossing movie. Absolutely not. It's just not happening. And that's why I say that DC right now could overtake Marvel. It's a. I'm not gonna say it's not possible, even for that live action stuff. There is a place for live action versions of Batman, Superman, Flash, Cyborg, Wonder Woman. Dang, whatever happened with the Wonder Woman IP?
I know.
Anyway,
Yeah. The way you
um,
told this shit, like Jesus Christ, what happened to Wonder
because
Woman?
I just thought about how
Uh,
bad that last Wonder Woman movie was. And that's during COVID time when there was nothing in front of us, and there was nothing else to watch, and people still didn't watch it. So anyway, that's another topic for another day. Yeah, but I'm really curious. James Gunn's footprint and the direction he's gonna take the IPs, because he made a very strong statement in Superman and not bringing back Henry, and I love Henry as Superman, and I kind of did like scoff at this new Superman and his whole like direction, and oh, he's not gonna be this and that, and I'm just like, why? Like, but that's just my opinion and my feelings. But I am curious about DC's future over Marvel. How long Marvel's gonna be down. I don't think for too long. It could be some years before they finally get the rhythm back. But with Robert and the universe again, they could bounce back quicker than that. It just depends. I've been hearing that while recording, I think the Doomsday, there's been some scuffles on set and some arguments between the characters. I'm real curious of who's gonna come on top of that at the end of the day. The guy with the blank check, or the guy that, is just lucky to be there. But, that's neither here or there. That's neither here or there. I'm not gonna get in that.
so I agree with you on that. I remember correctly. The reason James did not bring back, give another quick disclaimer. I am a Batman fan. I have always Superman fans to me are almost like Nintendo fans. He
Start
just
talking
can't do
about
no
Angry
wrong.
Joe.
He just can't do me wrong. He's just this God among men. And I'm just like, no, it's not true. But
That's how I
I
feel
will
about
say
Captain
this.
America fans. Like, ugh, I
Oh
cannot stand
God,
a Captain America in
don't get me
any
started on that.
form. In any
In any
form.
form. But I will say this: the Man of Steel movie is a
Oh,
damn good
Chef
movie,
Kiss. Yes, I
and
rewatched that on HBO Max. It
that
is such a great
comes
movie.
from someone who is not a Superman. That
Yeah,
movie was good.
yeah.
It was done in such a way. Whoever wrote it, whoever filmed it,
Mm-hmm.
whoever did whatever the fuck they did,
It was
they
kind of ahead
did
of
it
his
with a
time.
passion. They
Yeah.
did it with a passion for the art. But
Yeah, for the
James
source
Gunn's view
material.
was he wanted a singular, cohesive, where if someone played Superman in the movie, they would play that same Superman in the show or etc. He felt fans would get disassociated between the bouncing back and forth. But my whole thing was, okay, give a contract to Henry Cavill and let him and let's do this. But Henry Cavill was already deep in other projects and etc. James Gunn did not want to work around no one else's cat. Rather than taking a famous person, like I'm gonna take someone who's gonna do what I want them to do, how I want them to do it. Which is understandable, like you say, Robert Downey Jr. There's no way you're gonna tell him what to do. He's gonna tell you how and you're gonna enjoy it and watch the money.
Mhm.
But I was so heartbroken. It started with him, it ended with him, and it should have stayed. Bringing him back, desperation move. And I'm not mad at him. I'm not mad at him. Like, hey, I would love to see you back in any. Marvel is going to rush this Doomsday, and there were talks of them even saying bringing back Chris Evans. And
Ugh.
Chris Evans was one of the main people who was ready to be done and through. So if
Mhm.
they're handing out the checks that I can only imagine, when you got Chris Evans reconsidering to come back, the House of Mouse of desperation.
Oh yeah.
And all I can say is there are two things. I already went one with the animation department, what they're good at, and etc. Anybody can go on HBO Max. Thank God they put it back to that, and look at any of the animated movies, Batman, the Phantasm, or whatnot. Those are great. There is one other area D shines at, and they shied away from because they tried to go the family approach like Marvel. Is the dark if Suicide Squad, a movie of villains, fucked upness as it should, and let it be a R-rated movie, DC can definitely outdo. You have grown men and women who will go see, who would have went and seen the Snyderverse, Lois Lane being killed, Superman snapping and causing the apocalypse of the world, and now Batman and his little gang of fuck-ups need to go fight that premise as dark as it is. I would have paid money, like you said. You got to work for my $20. I would have went to the movies to go see that. Because right now, as a 35-year-old family man, hey, I don't mind waiting. You know how much other shit I got to this hit the streaming service? You think I'm gonna go see Superman, Fantastic Four? It'll be on Disney Plus, and I will sit comfortably and watch it from my home rather than traveling and having more money for some shit I could have waited.
Yeah, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And once again, we are your hosts, Trice and Infamous.